Hey there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. It is Sat Chat time. How are you doing this weekend? It is Sat Chat, meaning this is not a tutorial. You're not going to learn anything. Hang out, have your coffee, think about crafty things, and let's set the world to rights, shall we? So, you like my new shirt? How cool is this? My friend Rosie, I should say my sketchbook dealer, Rosie, she made me this shirt, and I'm just thinking, I feel so cool. I feel so cool. It's like I'm gonna take my little portable portable palette and roll it up here. Look at me, put a little instead of a cigarette, I've got put this behind my ear. Oh wait, maybe not that ear. It doesn't want to go. Maybe I could tuck it in my hair, tuck it back into my hair a little bit, and ooh, look at that! Rubbled out a cause. Welcome to the gun show. Sketchbook Floozy over here. Yeah. Oh, this is so fun. I just love it. I just love it. I get to feel cool when my motorcycle days are long behind me. I do like, don't you like that? Ooh, we can do it. Can we do it? Yes, we can. It's more Bob the Builder than Rosie the Riveter. My goodness. I need to work out. But I can feel cool anyway. And so thank you, Rosie. She makes the best sketchbooks. I got one right here, actually. I gotta tell you, once you get used to her sketchbooks, it's gonna be real hard to go to a craft store and buy a sketchbook because they're so good. So I was having a little, honestly, I could just repeat the same Sat Chat every single week. I was having a little crisis of art. And I was trying to plan my next class for Derwent, the live ones that we do on Michael's for free. And it's coming up October 9th, I believe. It'll be up on the Michael's website in a week or two, probably. I just scheduled this. I scheduled it this morning, but then I have to approve it and put it up and whatnot. And I wanted to do something with the Derwent line and wash set because I want to do a bunch of urban sketching, and I think it's I'm going to France next year, and I just want to capture the old architecture and all of that. But I really want to practice on that because I've kind of had like a mental block, I think, with architecture because my parents wanted me to be an architect, and I was just like, no straight lines for me. I'm organic. I am just gonna go with the flow, and basically cause my parents grief their entire lives, my entire life. But I actually do want to be able to do some urban sketching, but I don't like really straight liney things. I like more organic flow and life, and get that like oomph and the passion into my architecture and stuff. And so I'm like, well, I'll do a castle or something with some foliage, and so I worked on. I spent way too long in this. I was not happy with it. It was frustrating. I kind of did a very vague pencil sketch, but jumped right in with a pen, and I just wasn't happy with it. And then I thought, well, what I really want is maybe something that's a little bit more detail-y architecture, like reliefy, or like, how like they carve things, they carve statues out of marble, or they have like columns and the curlicues and the Baroque. Maybe I like the Baroque, maybe that's what I like. I don't know what I like, but I do like that. I guess I do know what I like. So then I'm like, well, let me do a column. So I started just jumping right in with the paint, with the ink pen and the paint for this column. And I kind of was feeling a vibe, like I'm kind of there, like I'm just on the cusp, I'm on the edge, I'm almost to the satisfying artistic thing I want to make, not quite, but almost. And so then I just started doodling over here. And honestly, and Rosie sent me the Urban super granulating Schmincke colors, and I did some little stones there. So I'm like, so I just kind of like threw in the towel with this bottom drawing. I'm like, that's not going to work for Derwent because I can't teach it. I don't even know what I'm doing. It's not working. But I'm going to dive right in because nothing to lose, because this two-page spread is going to be nothing to write home about. So I don't have anything to worry about. So I just started playing, and I was kind of happy with this. Kind of looks like Looney Tunes. Doesn't that remind me of like, is it Looney Tunes? Where like, yeah, where like Tweety Bird and stuff, there's always those like fancy like French buildings. You know what I mean? Looney Tunes, you get the little line and wash. That's what that reminds me of. But anyway, I was having fun after I just kind of relaxed. I'm like, okay, you're not going to produce anything of worth today, so just have fun and play. And the Urban Schmincke super granulating paints, I never thought I'd want that collection, but playing with that for some stonework, I was like, I really like that. So Rosie's super nice. Not only did she make me this great shirt, and has been, supplying your floozy with sketchbooks for the last couple of years, she's shared her super granulating paints with me, which has been really awesome. So I could see what I liked before I invested in any full tubes of them. And and they're fun. They're nice. I think they're nice, especially for stuff like stonework and stuff where you're really going to have some really wet washes and you're not going to layer up and whatnot. But anyways, this is one of her sketchbooks. They're just superb. You will use every page. Don't let them be too precious, though. That's the only thing you have to worry about with her books. They're so nice that you got to make sure they don't become too precious. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go back to the drawing board and think of something for this Derwent class. I want something that people are going to be inspired to paint. Because that's the other thing. It's like, what I barely know what I like. What do other people like? Oh, you know, I was making bread yesterday and I didn't put my wedding ring back on. Please do not read anything into that. Because I will get a comment like, Lindsay, I'll get a private message. Lindsay, is everything all right? Everything's fine. I was making bread. Yeah, gotta put that back on. So where was I? Oh, so I was like, I want to make something that will inspire people to create. And I know it's hard to get people to show up live for things because we're all so busy, and these Michael's classes tend to be during the day, which honestly, I have my most energy during the day. I start to wind down at night, and honestly, if I sit down after 8 p.m. on the couch, I will probably fall asleep. I kind of go hard and then I'm out. It's like there's two settings with this girl. It's like, you know, it's full speed or it's conked out, you know. One or the other. I don't know what that's all about, but actually no, like if I take a week off at the lake, then I can totally chill and paint and read and just, you know, sip wine and, you know, just be totally chillaxing. But in general, my general day-to-day at home doing my thing, working from home, yeah, I'm just always going. But anyway, I was kind of taking some time off yesterday because Jason has, Mr. Frugal has yesterday and today off and the weekend off. And so we were just hanging out and it was a beautiful day. I'm like, you know, I'm going to go sit out back on the balcony and just chill and do some drawings. I'm going to bring these, my Derwent drawing pencils out. It's 24 colors, not super overwhelming, not super expensive if somebody doesn't have the supplies already. That's the other thing too, because you know, I have all these different things and I might pull one pencil from this set or one pen from this, and it's like when you start adding up that materials list, it can be scary for people and they can be like, that is going to cost me $300 if I want to use every single exact thing that you're making. And that's overwhelming. And obviously you don't have to. You can use any white pen. You can use, you know, whatever clear marker, like to blend things out. It doesn't have to cost that much, but if you don't have anything, I think that can be very intimidating. So I'm like, I want to be simple. I want it. So I brought this sketchbook. And I started a new sketchbook. I bought this at Michael's actually. It was probably last year, maybe last summer. I can't remember. I was out with Tracy and Cindy and Kathy. A small tone tan book because I have the 9x12 and it's almost used up. And I really like this. So I did start that, another sketchbook, insanely because I have dozens going because I'm a sketchbook floozy. And it... And some people are like, do not get the name there. They're very offended by that name. But it's, yeah, you can't commit to one sketchbook. You're a sketchbook floozy. Take it back. Claim your power. Be a floozy, friends, with your sketchbooks. We got to go wild somewhere in life, right? And that's a nice safe place for us to go wild with our sketchbooks. So I decided I'm going to go back to the garlic. I had fun sketching a garlic with markers, and that was last week's sketchbook floozy challenge. So I'm like, let's revisit the garlic idea. I had a few heads of garlic left in my bag of garlic from Sam's Club, and I just went out to the deck and I put them down. My husband made a table out of pallets, so it's got great texture and grunginess, and love it. And so I put the garlics down on the, I'm gonna see if that will, maybe if I cover my face that will focus. I put them out and yeah, I just started sketching, and the Derwent drawing range of pencils is all muted. They're very light fast. They're beautiful muted range of colors. In fact, they're really nice if you have the Derwent light fast pencils or like the Caran d'Ache luminous pencils. I feel like they would go really well dovetailing into those lines. But anyways, 24 pencils, not super expensive. Anything you make you could display or sell because it's not going to fade. And yeah, I just did the white garlic, but I pushed the colors, and I think that's going to be good. I think people will like that, so I decided to go with that for my next month's class. And the sketchbook's not expensive. I mean, I think regular price at Michael's at sketchbooks $9. And they always have that buy one get one half off deal. So if you need a couple things, you're going in with a friend, then you could, you know, save on one of them. And then yeah, the pencils, a lot of you guys have them. If not, you could use regular, you could just go to your pencil stash and you could pull the more muted tones. I will say that the Derwent drawing pencils are quite opaque, so they're going to stand up on the toned paper. If you don't have that paper, but you have the toned mixed media paper, that will work great. I didn't use the mixed media paper because I'm just using dry media, and I thought that was overkill to, you know, use a sheet of the mixed media paper when the sketch paper is going to do just fine and is quite a bit cheaper. You know, you get Let's see. Is it that much? I mean, you get 50, how many sheets are in this? Let's see. So I think they're about the same price, the pads, the mixed media, or the sketch paper, but you get 50 sheets of the sketch paper versus 15 sheets of the mixed media paper. So it's like, if you don't need that robust of a paper because you're just doing dry work, why use that paper? So it's gonna be an hour-long class too. I think I'll probably maybe just do one garlic head, but make it big. But when you sign up, there is a download for my reference photo that I took, and you'll be able to, you could pre-draw it if you want to. We're going to draw it together. And I'll probably just focus on one garlic. That way we can have it finished in an hour. Because I think this, honestly, this took me about 2 hours. So color pencil goes slower. Maybe it didn't take me that long. I was also chatting with friends. In one of my little group chats too while I was doing it, so who knows, who can say, you kind of lose time. But that's what I want. I want that, like, that flow state. I want to lose time. I did a video earlier this week. I haven't even touched my notes yet. I don't even know. I'm so off track already, and it's like 10 minutes in and I haven't talked about anything that I've intended to. But we'll get to that. Make sure you stay to the end, because or just read the video description. Anything of importance, I'll try to remember to put in there. Like 50% off my brushes over at Craft Ammo while supplies last, or until the 31st. But yeah, that will be in the video description. But let me, before I derail this train completely, yeah, so I was kind of in that flow state a little bit because I was losing track of time, and I did a video earlier this week because I was just kind of compelled. It was Monday when I recorded it. I posted it on Wednesday, but I was just kind of compelled to talk about project fatigue, and I was feeling like I had project fatigue, and so I'm like, I wonder if anybody else is feeling that. And I feel like there's been this huge zeitgeist in the craft and art community on YouTube. Like, at first I thought it was just me, and every summer my numbers are down, and I try not to let it bother me, and I didn't look at the numbers for the longest time, and then I did, and then I was like, oh my word, it's worse than I thought. And I was like totally, freaking out. And then I was seeing videos from other creators saying the same thing, basically, like, where have all the people gone? Where my crafty people at? Where'd they go? Where's my audience? Nobody's watching my videos. And so then I realized it was a little more widespread, and so I thought I would make a video about why people might not be watching the DIY content, and why I think it's project fatigue. I think people are so overwhelmed with all the things they have going on and all the projects they've started that maybe they're just kind of like, I don't want to watch a how-to video because then I feel guilty that I'm watching this how-to video and I'm not doing anything. Versus watching a sat chat or watching a product review, you're gathering information, or you have it on for company, you have it on for a different reason. And I love to have stuff on, like podcasts and documentaries and things like that. Then it's like I can take in the information while I'm painting, or I can be entertained while I'm doing something else, rather than being like, I need to focus on this, I need to learn it. I've been trying to learn French, but I have not felt like watching the French how-to videos, because it's like, I don't feel like I have the capacity to absorb this right now. I don't have the focus. I don't want to focus on that. I just kind of want to do my own thing. And I had some really great suggestions, and a lot of ones that I really liked. And one suggestion that I think I'll start implementing next week is just like a craft along or a draw along, just like a live stream where I'll say, okay, grab your sketchbook and grab your watercolor crayons, grab your sketchbook and grab this thing. Let's keep it simple, and let's just play for like an hour or two just creating in our sketchbooks. And to help take the pressure off other people and not have a preconceived idea of what we're gonna make when you come into the live stream, you'll be like, what are we gonna do? You won't have this like, well, I'm gonna create this garlic with Lindsay. Oh wait, that might be scary. I might not know how to do that. I don't know if I want to commit to that. It'll be kind of like I feel like a little bit fresher and newer, and also maybe a few card make-alongs, because it's birthday season in my family. All three of my kids have fall birthdays. My sister has a fall birthday, and my mother loves to receive card packs for Christmas because she's great at sending out cards. So she likes to have a bunch of all occasion cards that she can send out, and she loves them to be handmade. So it would be a good excuse to make up a few batches of those for her for both like birthday and Mother's Day, and her birthday and Christmas and Mother's Day and things like that. Just have them ready to go. So that's what I'm thinking about. Thinking maybe take a little bit of the pressure off, make it a little bit more of a fun, explorative experience rather than do this, using my teacher voice, which I didn't know I had a teacher voice. So it's like, when you switch on to the teacher voice, you lose me. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know I did that. I mean, and obviously some comment that one person's preference is going to be exactly what somebody else hates. So you got to take it with a grain of salt. I used to be a radio DJ, and it's like, yeah, I take requests. It doesn't mean I'm going to play them, because sometimes people would request stuff that's way off format, way off the wall. It would like make most of the viewers tune out. So so it's kind of like that with YouTube, I guess, a bit. But I definitely appreciated all the feedback, and I feel a little bit more zesty, a little renewed. And it was funny because I was talking to our friends in our chat. I was like, I just can't relax. I just can't relax at home. And my friend Scott's like, it's easy to book a vacation. It's like, nothing stresses me out like travel. Honestly, I hate the fact that I have such travel anxiety, but yeah, I'm like, that does not sound relaxing. I mean, a week on a lake in a cabin is relaxing, but like, you know, going to an airport, like going a far ways away, yeah, that does not sound relaxing. I'm excited for France, but also working. So it's like, I've got that framework of like, I can't be anxious. I'm working. I know how to work. I know how to do this, you know, so that's like my comfort. My painting is my comfort, and my work is my comfort. So yeah, I probably should be seeing a therapist and not talking to you guys about this. But yeah, it's always fun. It's always fun to get a different perspective on things and realize how crazy you are, I guess. Let's look at my list. And my phone has been going crazy, and I've got to try not to be distracted by what's going on there. So yeah, I gotta not be distracted by that right now. But my kids are traveling, and they're having their last hurrah before they start school on Monday. And so that's always, I think that's part of the reason I haven't been able to focus very much, because I know they're getting ready to go back to school. There's all that back to school stuff, you know, tuitions to be paid and all of that. And then there's, they're going on this big trip where they're going with friends, and they're flying, and they're staying at a hotel, and they're going to a festival, and they're doing all this. And it's kind of like a little nerve-wracking for me, because being in big crowds, stuff like that I find to be terrifying. And but I don't want to pass that baggage on to them. So it's like I need to like scream inside my heart, as the Japanese would say, and just let them, you know, smile, let them do their thing. And so yeah, I think I was kind of like hard to focus on my work because that's all happening. So I spent some time with them this week, and I baked a bunch of bread. I baked a bunch of cinnamon rolls to send with them and their friends for their trip, so because they had to get up early and catch a plane. So I'm like, there's breakfast for you guys tomorrow. And yeah, they got to their destination. Everything's hunky-dory, and fingers crossed everybody has safe travels back, and nobody misses a flight, and all of that. But it's just wild letting your kids just go off into the world. I mean, of course, you got the framework of college, and the, you know, their living situations all taken care of and all of that. But still, it is kind of like, oh my gosh, you know, they're leaving the nest. And, you know, it's your second year of college. It's not like I was way more stressed out last year with them going off as freshmen. But yeah, it's a journey. It's a journey. But I have been definitely feeling that, like, the anxiety creep in around the edges, and that's been, I think that's been like hampering my creativity. Although I have been productive enough. I've been working my way through my review pile, because that's very analytical and less creative. And so I find I can focus on true analytical things that are kind of like black and white a little bit more than that gray creative flow area. So that's probably why I've been having a hard time unlocking that. Because like reviews, it's like it's good or it's bad, it's quality or it's junk. You know, it's very easy to analyze things like that. So I've got reviews. I do a review every Monday on my YouTube channel. I've got them booked into October. So so that's great. That gives me a little bit of a like peace of mind that if like something happened and I couldn't produce anything, at least I have something coming out once a week for the next, you know, 8 weeks. That gives me a little bit of a breathing room. Not that I should feel like compelled that I have to do that every week, but you know, it's just, I've been doing this 13 years. You get into a certain rhythm, and it's very, you know, you want to at least keep up a certain amount of it anyway. I will be working on a new critique club next week. That's my priority, because I've only got one up for this month, so that's coming. If critique club members, don't lose hope. That's the thing. You just get so many plates spinning in the air that you're just like, oh my gosh, what is life? What am I doing? So yes, I'm going to go through my list here, because we're already at 19 minutes and I haven't talked about a single thing that I plan to talk about, which is just, you know, a metaphor for my life and my days, how I spend my days. But luckily my job is very conducive to that. So yes, Craft Ammo is having their summer brush sale. Use a coupon code SUMMER50, and I will put that in the video description for 50% off my brush set. I don't think there's too many sets left. The sale will go on through the 31st or while supplies last. So if you want to get a backup set, if you want to get a set for a gift, the reviews on the brush set are great. I use them all the time. They're brushes that you don't find in your typical standard brush sets or what you typically buy at the art or craft store. They're like, you've got the, I can show you really quick actually. Let's see. The back of my hair is kind of a hot mess. I did this thing where I twisted my hair around a bandana, but I really need like a beaded pick or something to stick in the back, but it's all just kind of woven around, but I'm kind of digging it. I wanted to kind of go with a Rosy Riveter or Victory Curls type vibe today. But then I realized that if I was going to do Victory Curls, I was actually going to have to do some heat to my hair, and I just washed it yesterday, and I really did, and it's raining, and I don't want to do heat to my hair unnecessarily because it's damaging. But these are the brushes that are in my brush set. Comes in a gorgeous box that you can reuse for whatever or keep for storage. But we've got a 1/2 inch cat's tongue. We have a script liner, size 1. And this is Taklon. This is faux squirrel. The cat's tongue is faux squirrel, so you get a little bit of spring, but you're mostly water and paint holding capacity is the paramount for that brush. We have a 1 inch Taklon wash. We have a number 8 synthetic Taklon round, and then we have a number 12, which is actually a little bit more like a 16. When I gave them the specs to make the brushes, I actually had to measure it out and give them the specs in millimeters. They're calling this a 12, but I'd call it a 16. It's a real chunker, but it holds tons of paint and water and comes to a nice point. And then we have the 3/8 dagger here, and it's a Taklon. It has great spring, good for carnations, peonies, cyclamen, any sort of bouncy, like one-stroke flower you want to do there. It's really great. So they're just not what you find typically. Brushes, large brushes like these 3 tend to be on the expensive side, especially like your cat's tongue, your rounds. You get the performance of squirrel, but no animals were used, and I'm really happy with that brush set. And once it's gone, it's gone. We did a large run on this. We released them a year ago, and we did I think we did 1,000. Rather than the regular 500 release, so that they would last for a while. But I think this sale might clean up the stock. So if you wanted the set, or if you want to buy a set for a gift or an extra set, I would do it now, because they'll probably be gone after that. Oh, what else do we have going on? Oh, I heard about this thing. I was listening to the Marketplace podcast, or maybe it was Make Me Smart. I'm not sure. I listen to a lot of podcasts. And they were talking about how Amazon is experimenting with using artificial intelligence for review summaries. So I talked about doing a bunch of reviews. I do a review every Monday on art supplies on my channel, and a lot of times I am getting my art supplies from Amazon, because they're the things that I feel like the things that are coming out, they're getting popular, the price is good, but there's really no history on some of these companies. So I like to review a lot of those just because there's nothing else out there on those products. And a lot of times the products are sent to people for free to review. And I don't think this is done intentionally, but I think a lot of times people have that feeling of reciprocity where it's like a company gave you this thing for free, then you feel like you want to say something good about it. You don't want to be critical of it. And the term "it's not my first rodeo" comes to mind. I've been doing this 13 years. I was reviewing products on my blog before that. I don't feel an alliance to a company that sends me something. A lot of these products I purchase because I think they look really interesting. And I'm going to give it to you how it is. And one thing I always say on those videos, if they are for these products that kind of only show up on Amazon, is to look at the most recent reviews, because things change sometimes. Sometimes you get a set of pencils and they're awesome, and then 6 months later you start hearing awful things about it, or you see somebody else, using them, and it's like, that doesn't even seem like it's the same pencil. And either they switch warehouses. It happened quite a bit during the pandemic, and I don't think it was manufacturers being shady. I think it was just like, oh, that factory is closed right now. I gotta get my stuff from this factory, especially with how popular arts and crafts were. Everyone wanted to take up a hobby, and then companies were trying to keep up with that. And somebody that's just getting into adult coloring, for instance, they're probably not going to go out and buy a legacy brand expensive set of pencils. They're probably just going to buy something cheap on Amazon and have it delivered to their house because the stores were closed. And the pandemic changed a lot in the art supply market. And so I think companies were struggling and scrambling to get their products made. And so like Arteza had a big change in their pencils when they switched. They must have switched factories or switched formulation or something, because like version 1 was different from version 2, and then version 3 came out again, and that was different. I never had version 3, but version 1 and 2 were different. They were both good, but they were definitely not the same pencil. So I always say look at the most recent reviews. So I thought it was really interesting when I heard that Amazon's going to start using AI to summarize all the reviews. So you look at a product, it's got 4,000 reviews. You're not going to look at them all. You're going to look at like maybe the most popular reviews or the most recent. So they're going to use AI to kind of collate their reviews and come up with a summary that puts together the most verified reviews. Now there's been problems with Amazon reviews, paid reviews. Something I see as a YouTuber is that a lot of brands will reach out to people and they'll say, will you review this product? We'll give it to you for free. You buy it and we'll reimburse you. And the reason they do that is because they want that to look like a verified purchase. They want you to review it on Amazon and have it say verified purchase next to your name. And that's shady. I will not accept products in that fashion, but a lot of people do. And you gotta wonder, do they withhold that money until they get a positive review? I don't know, because I don't do that, but I mean, it could very well be, or it could be that a reviewer might feel pressured to give a positive review, so they're reimbursed for their for whatever it cost for that product. I think that is very shady, and that is sadly that goes on a bit. But I'm also thinking that probably artificial intelligence would have some way to decipher the actual verified reviews that are honest versus bot farm reviews or paid reviews or reviews that may be unnecessarily bad or unnecessarily glowing, to kind of like average it out and get the real, meat of the review there. So I'm actually pretty optimistic about that. I think that could really help people make smart choices when they're on Amazon. And like a lot of art supplies, I think most art supplies are from third-party sellers. Most of them aren't. They are shipped from Amazon, but they're not sold by Amazon. So I think that would also really help. And I don't think they would be incentivized to give positive reviews because, it would be in the long run in the best interest in Amazon to have true reviews there. And I think they've tried to do that, but I mean, there's always people trying to game the system because it's so competitive, and I don't think Amazon makes it easy on sellers. So there's that. And one final thing I want to talk about today is a wonderful quote that I read by Andy Warhol this week. And it's great. And I think we should all remember this, and we should write it in our sketchbooks. Art is anything you can get away with. And I just love it. I watched a documentary on the Velvet Underground. It's on Apple Plus if you want to check it out. And of course, Andy Warhol really brought fame to the Velvet Underground. He hired them to be his house band. He did films on them and promoted the banana on their album. Andy Warhol is one of his works, and it's just I just thought that was really funny, and I love the Velvet Underground. So I thought that would be a great way to end today's Sat Chat. So I'll put all the information of what I talked about that I can remember in the video description. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, happy crafting. Bye!